Hey everybody, Bruce here with Stock Markets with Bruce. How you doing? Welcome to my channel today. Thanks all of you guys for subscribing and giving my videos thumbs ups and supporting me on PayPal. There's a donate button below in the description. Thank you for your support. We're almost monetized, so we're getting excited here. The story today, a couple of things. I want to talk to you about the cruise business, and I want to talk to you about some insider selling going on. The share prices of the cruise lines, unbelievable levels. News today that just broke a little while ago. The folks over at Norwegian announced that they have canceled all of their sailings out of the U.S. for January and February. And in some cases, they won't start even offering sailings until April. And this is a setback, but it's not surprising. Everyone else is doing it. And I would imagine in the next few weeks, every cruise line will be pretty well on the same page. Because of the new administration, the CDC is going to get their authority back, and there will not be sailings until there's a vaccine. Talking about insider selling and stock prices, let's take a look at a couple of stocks. Number one on the list is Carnival. Here's a chart of Carnival for the last 6 months, and you can tell that they were in that 24-25 range back in June, and then they bottomed out in late November, and now back into the 22 range. The president of the company, CEO, Micky Arison, has sold off 5 million of his shares at an average price of $20.58 a share to bring in $102 million personally, and that's right where the stock is now, right around that 20-22 range, and he's getting out. So what does that tell you? Royal Caribbean the last 6 months, the high right now, 82 odd bucks a share, 80.82. That's where it is. It looks to be topping out here. It was as low as 47 in the last 6 months back in July. Is this kind of a high for now? Is it going to back off from here? We'll have to see. And Norwegian the last 6 months, high trade 26.86 back in June. And low of 13.06 in around late July, early August. Now at 23.38, and they just canceled cruising. I don't know why these shares are up, folks. Don't know why these shares are where they are. They are. These guys are in trouble. They're going to have to raise more cash. The bottom line here is that these three majors with all of their subsidiary lines, and I can tell you everybody else, that includes Disney, MSC, any other cruise line you want to talk about, Viking. These guys have all been reorganizing their books and their financials, and they have been raising cash, thinking that they had to get through until early part of 2021 to get back to business. Now we're finding out, for example, in the case of Carnival today, not only is the insider selling the number one guy, but they flunked CDC testing to get certified to allow the ship, the Carnival Horizon, to come into port in Miami to drop off and pick up crew members. Now, if you can't pass the CDC rules to drop off and pick up crew members, you're certainly nowhere near getting passengers on board. I don't know if you've noticed this, but about a month ago, there was a lot of talk by Royal Caribbean that they had 100,000 people volunteer to become guinea pigs for cruises, test cruises. All of a sudden, we've heard nothing in the last couple of weeks about it. Absolutely not a peep. And I think the reasoning is exactly what's happening here. Cruise lines have decided, you know what, we're not even going to try and sail for December or January. We'll give it up, and we'll talk about sailing in March and April. Remember, folks, those of you who are going to get get your vaccine, it's a two-stage process. The way it likely will go is by the time most of us are allowed to get a vaccine, it'll be May or June. We'll get our first shot. We have to then wait a month to get the second shot. And then we might have to wait a month after that to be cleared to travel. It could well be that countries around the world will insist that people who get the vaccine then get tested 30 days after the vaccine to make sure they have a negative result, and that the vaccine is holding off the virus. So that might be the deal, and that tells me these cruise lines won't sail until the fall. And that means the big three, Carnival, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, are going to need to raise another $5 to $10 billion in cash to burn through most of 2021 and to afford the startup of cruising. They have all said that when they do start, they'll start with a few ships each and build from there. So As much as the cruise lines would like to start now, and they only want to cancel 1 or 2 months at a time, which is what they're doing now, only canceling till January, February, and into March, they really won't be sailing with passengers until really towards the end of the year. And so don't be surprised if a lot of you who have reservations, or those of you who have used your future cruise credits 6-8 months ago to rebook a cruise for the middle part of 2021 or the latter part of 2021, you may find that your cruises are canceled because the cruise lines will only start with 2 or 3 ships per line, and your particular ship just isn't sailing yet. It might not sail until 2022. And there's going to be a lot of reshuffling going on. Also, of course, we're waiting for the final CDC ruling regarding occupancy. And if the ships can only go out at half capacity, or they can only put passengers in balcony rooms, not inside rooms, this is going to restrict the cruise line's ability to get up and running. And that means a lot of people are going to be on waiting lists to be able to take cruises, because, of course, future cruise credit people should be getting priority, and there might only be so many suites available per trip going forward as the ships slowly come on board, one behind the other. So we'll follow that too. So for shareholders out there, if you're thinking of buying cruise shares now and riding the recovery, you are early, and you might be getting in way too high. It won't surprise me to hear announcements from the cruise lines where they'll say stuff like, we're going to raise $1 billion for our cruise line by selling stock into the market. Expect an immediate 10 to 20% drop in the market price of the stock, whichever one it is, as they attempt to issue more paper out into the street. If they, however, are going to try to raise cash per cruise line up to, say, $2.5 billion more, they can't issue any more bonds. Their bonds are rated as junk. They're going to be issuing 25% more stock than is out there now. And with insiders selling stock in these companies at these levels, this is telling me that we've hit a plateau. I think personally they're overvalued, but we'll see. But we may see a 20, 25, 30% pullback just on dilution factors, because at the end of the day, once these cruise lines are up and running again to full, all ships and full capacity, they will generate revenue, of course, after those cruise credits are taken care of. But even so, the cost of staying in business for these cruise lines has risen dramatically because of the interest rates they have to pay on these debts that they've racked up, all the bonds they issued. And so the shares will really not get near their all-time highs for maybe a decade. It's going to take a long, long time. Same for the airlines, same for some of the hotels. A lot of companies out there have seen government intervention and or assistance. They've sold some of their shares and given warrants to government agencies for loan guarantees, and this is going to impact common shareholders, but the market is not yet paying attention to it. But I'll keep you posted on how it's going. Thanks for joining me today and your support. Thanks for subscribing and giving the videos thumbs ups. We'll keep you posted, everybody. Bye for now.